5 years and still talking. This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Hey, hey everybody, from the most infected city in America, it's the Ramble with me. I'm Alex Bennett. We'll be here until midnight Eastern Daylight Time, or until we expire from the coronavirus, one or the other. It's amazing. It's just amazing. God, I just, was thinking about it today, and this whole thing is starting to get to me. I don't know about you. It's driving me a little, to begin with, I'm not in Montana. I look at Montana and it's not even, I think they just erased it from the whole map of the United States. Like it doesn't even exist. How many cases they have in Montana? I don't know. I haven't been able to check. But the fact is that they don't have a lot of cases in Montana. Well, where is Minnesota? I'm looking here at. Well, I'll show you what I'm looking at. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. I gotta find the map. There's the map. See, and I'm looking for Montana here on this list. And I don't even see Montana. I don't think it's a state anymore. Let's see, Rhode Island is way down there. Oklahoma's down there. Oh, boy. I don't even see Montana coming up on here. What? Are you going to tell me there are no cases in Montana? Oh, well. Anyway, let me reboot this here, and we can see the total. Well, wait a minute. Let me see here. No, that's, let me see here. Let me do this. See, if we do that, we'll get the most up-to-date stuff around the world. And come on, we're waiting on you. There we go. Here we go. Now the world will come into view in a moment here. Worldwide, 2,157,108 people are confirmed to have the coronavirus, of which 144,047 are no longer on this planet. Wow. That's something, isn't it? Huh? That's amazing. That's just amazing. I kind of like, what's the word I can use? It just gobsmacks me. That's a good term. The British use that. Here in the U.S., we have 760,353. So that would mean that about a quarter of all the cases in the world. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah. A quarter of all the cases in the world are in the United States. Let me see here. Also, if you look over here, they have deaths by city in the United States. And so far there are 33,101 deaths, of which 11,477 have been in New York. In Nassau County in New York, 1,109. We go down to Suffolk County, 693. We go up to Westchester, 668. I mean, that's a lot, man. That's a lot, 33,101 deaths. But the good news is it's down. We were at something like 768 or something, and now we're down to 606 deaths in one day. But that's good news for us, all right? We go look at Spain. It was at Spain, which is number 2 in the death toll. 184,948 confirmed, 19,315 deaths. Now, Italy is now in third place with 168,000, almost 169,000, with 22,170 deaths. That's amazing. What did we say New York was again? Wait a minute. We have 22,000 in Italy. In New York alone, we have about half of that. Okay. Let's see here. Then you go to France, 1,700 and almost 18,000 deaths there, with 147,091 cases. Look at China. It's really kind of leveled off, and that's where they say the whole thing may have started. There are some people who think that it actually started in Europe. But now the latest reports are they think it started in Wuhan, like everybody says, but in a biological lab there. Not that they were trying to look for a biological weapon, but it was some kind of thing that went wrong. But all these things, there's so much. We're at the point now where there is just tons of speculation about who did what, when, and so on and so forth. And here are a few things we're finding out about the disease. I think in South Korea, which now is, South Korea isn't even. Look, it's all the way down here. Can you see maybe where I can't? Well, here, let me double click on it. And then let me bring it up. Oh no, that isn't what we wanted. Damn it. Okay, go back to the other thing here. Wait a minute. I wanted South Korea. Okay, well, let me bring this back. South Korea. Okay, only 229 deaths in South Korea. Come on. I'm trying to bring up South Korea, and it's having trouble here. There we go. 10,613 confirmed with 229 deaths. But what they found out, what's interesting, I can get out of this map. I don't think there's anything more that we have to look at. It's not important for us to look at the map any longer. There we go. Goodbye, map. See you later, map. We'll bring it up every night just so you can see how things are going or not going or whatever. But it's pretty. We're in pretty bad shape here in the United States. We keep having these arguments about what should be, how we can get open again, right? And the fact is that there is no way we can get open again. Why does it say I have a CT scan tomorrow? I don't have a CT scan tomorrow. Hold on a second. Let me look at my calendar a second. What is this? No. Oh, CT scan, 10:30 a.m. No, I don't have a CT scan. That's wrong. I guess I don't know why I put that there. Anyway, because we're not doing a CT scan until this whole thing starts leveling off a little bit. But anyway, the whole thing with when we're going to reopen the country, and I get a little upset by it. Because the thing is, we got to get business going again. We've got to get the economy going again. Well, if you got people dying left and right, it's pretty hard to get an economy going, okay? And even if you make the mistake by trying to rush to it, you may cause more problems and even more damage the economy. Damn the economy of the United States. It will, if we have to redo the United States from the ground up, then we'll do it from the ground up. But let's not do it at the expense of the lives of people. I mean, is capitalism so important that people should die for it? And I don't think they should. And if capitalism isn't a strong system, then so be it. Then it has to fail on its own reasons to fail. Okay? So, if in fact it's going to disappear, then so be it. If it's that fragile, it doesn't deserve to exist. Okay? But when we put a human life over and above the economy, that's, excuse me, I'm constantly looking over at stuff because I do everything here. I play the music, I get the people on, I do all of that, and so sometimes I have to look at something and work on it, so you got to see me doing it. Anyway, the point is that, how much is a human life worth? Is it worth the economy? And this desire, this rush to get this thing done. Now, the president was rushing, and then everybody said, you better put the brakes on this, pal. So now, rather than say, I'm the president and I can force you to go back to work, he was probably told by somebody he didn't have the power to do that. Okay? So today he was a little bit on his better behavior, kind of turned it over to other people to talk about. And they're talking about how we're going to bring America back. But I'm leaving it up to the governors. Now, I agree, okay, that there are some states that really they go coronavirus. We had a couple of cases over in bumfuck city. And they're dead now. But so what? It doesn't really affect us. And that's a good assumption to make because the facts are with you. The bad thing to say is that it can't happen to you. Just because, where I want to live? I want to live in Montana. And then I can go up into the mountains and I can have a house up there and I can probably have all my gadgets and do my show from there and so on, and probably never even come within 40 miles of anybody that might have the coronavirus, all right? But I'd be living in bumfuck to begin with. Not bad. I mean, Montana's a wonderful place and all of that. But of course, places like that are going to be able to get back to normal a lot faster than New York City. But my question is, when it comes to the economy of the United States, who gives more to the economy of the United States? Butte, Montana, or New York, New York? Okay. If we go down, the economy's going to go down. If Montana suddenly disappeared in a hail of stuff, okay, and just disappeared off the face of the planet, it probably would hardly affect the economy of the United States. So really, but the assumption that because we don't have it here, we can get back to work. Well, of course you can get back to work. You can run the gas station and the supermarket and herd some cattle or whatever they do up in Montana. And life will go on, and you probably will not be endangering much of anybody. Maybe. We don't know that because we don't know how much of that is going to suddenly come down on you like a plague. You haven't gotten it yet because you're the outliers. We got it first because we're sitting here in New York and the whole world comes through the airports and through the ships and everything else from all over the world. That includes China, that includes all of Europe, so that when we had people coming here with the virus, we were set to get it. Plus, we're shoulder to shoulder here. This city alone, New York City, has what, 9 million people, close to 9 million, maybe 8 million? The state of New York has 18 million people. Okay, that's a lot of goddamn people. All right, and we're shoulder to shoulder, and we're going to catch it. And so, staying inside for us, and us not saying, hey, a week from Sunday we're going to start opening up all the restaurants, is because, quite frankly, if we did that, the work that we've done to get the intubation rate down, to get the amount of people going to the hospital that's gone down, stay down, and to get those deaths to start to keep going down. The only way we're going to do that is by staying indoors. That's it. Staying indoors. And we don't go outside now because that could be a death sentence. You got to be very careful when you go out there. I got the gloves on, and I went down to get the mail today, and I put on the gloves and the mask and the whole thing. And then when I came up with my one piece of mail and a box, we hosed off the box with disinfectant. Okay, that was for starters. And then I had to wash the gloves off. Okay, with soap and water, then remove the gloves and wash my hands with soap and water. What else did I have to do? Anything else? And then just not touch my face for a while. This is the new normal for us, and it's going to be that way. I would say we're going to be this way till at least August, September, and even at that point, I don't think we're going to want to go into restaurants. We're going to want to go into movie theaters. We're going to want to go to a baseball game because we know how close we came to death the way we were, and that might just start the spread of it again. And what they found in South Korea, this was the thing I forgot to tell you a few minutes ago, what they found in South Korea are about 129 people who had the COVID virus, resolved it, got well, and then got it again. So we don't even know that much about this. We're only making assumptions of this virus based on other viruses, and then all of a sudden we find out something about it that we didn't know before, and it just gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. So I don't want to, I really don't want to give you guys a bad time. And I don't want to tell you that, hey, this is a good thing. It's a horrible thing. It's a terrible thing, and for us here in New York, it is perhaps the scariest thing that's ever happened to us. And there won't be anyone from this period of time in New York City who hasn't been changed irrevocably by it. Now, at my age, hey, what I got? Maybe 10 more years and then I'm dead. If I'm lucky, I got 10 more years. Might have 5, might have 2, might have a week and a half. I don't know. I'm 80 years old. So I only have to, but the rest of my life is going to be changed. I might not find myself leaving the house much for the rest of my life. I don't know. Now, we played this last night, and I feel I got to play it again because, well, it's just the best way of getting the message across to everybody, and I don't care where you are or how unimpacted your particular community is. Tomorrow, this is a pandemic. It's an epidemic. And a pandemic doesn't necessarily find a place to relax because once we get it solved here, it's moving to the next place and the next place until it finally wears out. But it might come to your community. So in the immortal words of Samuel L. Jackson,
stay the fuck at home. The Rona is spreading. This shit is no joke. It's no time to work or roam. The way you can fight it is simple, my friends. Just stay the fuck at home. Now, technically, I'm not a doctor, but motherfuckers listen when I read a poem. So here I am, Sam fucking Jackson, imploring you, keep your ass at home. If you want things to get back to normal, don't panic. Just use your dome. Wash your hands, stop touching your face, and stay the fuck at home. Motherfucker, it's no time to gamble. Look around, you're not at a casino. Just stay the fuck home as if your name was Trenton Quarantino. Sure, you can still see your friends. Use the motherfucking app on your phone. But unless you just ran out of groceries, please stay the fuck at home. Thank you for doing your part to flatten the curve, because that shit is steep. And now that you're home, please feel free to go the fuck to sleep. The end.
There he is, ladies and gentlemen. I played that last night, and I'm playing it again because I think it's wonderful, and it makes its point. And, of course, we all love Samuel L. Jackson, right? Who doesn't like... I don't know anybody that doesn't like Samuel L. Jackson. Okay. Anyway, so we're going out tonight. Once again, we've been been doing this for the last couple of nights in a higher definition. So I hope it looks even better. Doesn't make me look any better. I look, I can't do. I was supposed to get my eyes done. I was supposed to get not a facelift, but my eyes they droop a little bit here, and they need to be tightened up. And so my eye doctor told me I should have that done, and so I was planning on having it done, and then this all hit. And now I'm not doing it. I was going to have the bags removed too. So, what few years I have left, I may as well leave a good looking corpse. Okay. All righty. Well, let's open up the lines here and talk to the folks out there. Just opened up the lines, so now we just have to wait for people to start calling. And when they do that, then I, like a jackrabbit, try to get them all in the... here we go. Here comes Charlie Wallace. He was here last night at the same place, I believe. Yeah, so we can do that. Yeah, there we go. Wait a minute. Just turn on your camera, Charlie, and we can see you. Charlie, are you there?
I'm here.
There we go. There we go. There he's on. And let me see here. And there's Brian Neary is coming, and he was in the second place. I don't know why. Oh, there we go. There's Charlie. And here comes Brian. You can turn on your camera, Brian, and we'll see you in the yeah, there we go. And that's terrific. Now Rob Alfano is calling. Let's see. Was he here last night? Yeah. So maybe he will pop up in one of these places here. Maybe not. Oh well. Okay. I'll just take Rob and I will put him. Oh, hold on, folks. Hold on, Bree. Hold on, Bree. Everybody's calling at once, and it drives me. Here we go. No, that's all wrong. I don't want that. Hold on a second. Oh boy. Let me see here. I don't want scuba diver. I want Rob. There we go. It's got to be Rob. Okay. Rob, are you there, Rob?
I am here.
You are there, but we don't have a picture on you. Huh. Oh, wait a minute. There you are. Who did I... Let's see here. Who do we... And then, let's see here. Then we got to go here, and we got to put in... Charlie Wallace is there, and we got to put in... there we go. There is Jeff Zeller. All right. Okay, now let me put those there. All right. Wait a minute. Okay. And hey, everybody. How are you this evening?
Say hi.
Oh, hey. What's your name? Adrian. I have a very close friend named Adrian.
She was in Rocky.
Yeah, hey, yo, Adrian.
Yo.
I have one dad duty to do, so I got to peel her orange.
You got wait a minute. What a cheap son of a bitch you are. That's the smallest orange I've ever seen.
But they're tasty.
Is that what it's come to in the land of coronavirus?
It's a cutie.
Yeah. Now everybody on the panel is seeing me a different way tonight.
Yeah, you got your green screen going.
I don't have a green screen.
Oh, is this strictly software?
This is for Skype only. This is not going out like this. See, what they're seeing is me with the Alex, the Ramble in back of me. Because I found out now that at least on the newer versions of Skype, you can put a background on yourself. So here I am. See?
Yeah, the MS Teams is doing that now too.
You got to light yourself from the front just a little bit more because
I don't have to do anything. This isn't going out over the air.
I'm starting. I can see some of the background behind it.
I know, Phil, because this is not a true green screen.
All right.
You know, if you were to do it yourself and with your Skype, it would look just as crappy.
That's strange. Can anyone hear me? Hello, hello.
Yeah.
We can hear you, but you were humming.
Oh.
At least something we know.
Yeah,
I was thinking the same thing.
I have this new microphone, and it's actually an old microphone. I want to make sure it works.
Yeah.
Is it better than the iPad mic?
No.
No.
No, it's
This is called an iRig.
Send it.
You got raped on the rig.
Yeah.
Rigging it up.
It's not working for you.
Here we go. Here comes Tony Magno. Let me see here. I got to get Tony in here. Let me see here. Put him in the 6th place. And we go Webhead. There we go. And boom. There he is. There's Tony as well. Hi, Tony.
How you doing?
How are you? Yeah.
I got bad news.
What? What bad?
I tested positive.
What?
Yeah.
Tested
I'm
positive.
joking. They didn't get me yet. They never take me alive. Don't worry about it.
Holy shit.
Man, that gave me a heart attack.
I asked a buddy to call tonight. He went to New Jersey from Scarsdale to the antibody test because he wanted to know if he had it and he wanted to, and maybe was, asymptomatic and to donate blood. So he drove, I don't know, a couple hours to Jersey where they had the drive antibody thing, and they gave him the papers. There was 2 different tests that they conduct, and he didn't have the antibodies. So
So you didn't get it then?
yeah, he couldn't donate the blood. It says that he could get it, and it recommended social distancing. But,
It recommended social distancing? Okay.
yeah,
fine.
because he didn't. Oh, I know that picture.
You do?
That's Vermont.
Yeah. Boy, you follow my pictures, huh?
You sent it to me.
Here's another Vermont for you.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Where's that?
And let me see here. What else? Here. There we go. That's kind of nice. I'm doing all these different things. It's not perfect. It's not terrific. Okay. So I will go back to my old picture, but I thought you would have fun seeing that. Okay.
Yes.
I'm debating whether to send my neighbors to jail or not.
Still going crazy over
Are
there?
you a rat? Don't tell me you're a rat.
Brian?
They break the lockdown rules, and I've got photos.
Brian?
This is the neighbor with the loud dog.
Brian? Can you hear?
Yeah, I got to restart.
Oh, okay.
You guys disappeared from me.
Yeah, just turn on the camera. Click on the camera button. I think it should be okay. Let me see here. Well, we'll see. Because I always hate. The reason I always hate it when somebody hasn't got the camera on is because then I get this S from the Skype logo, and I don't like giving them any free publicity. They get one in every corner of every picture anyway, you know. So
Now there are new video conferencing companies coming out of the woodwork every 2 days. The new one is called Jitsi, and it's just like Zoom, but it's open source and free.
yeah, okay, yeah. And how is Jitsi different than anything else?
Well, I don't know. It's open source and it's like Zoom, and no, you don't need to download anything like Zoom.
Yeah,
There's another one called Online Town,
yeah.
where you can go on. So yeah, there's all kinds.
Well, I don't know. I tried Zoom tonight, tested it out, and I don't see that there's anything great about it. You know, I mean, people say, "Oh, the picture's so clean and clear and nice," you know, and I'm going, "What's wrong with the picture here? Nobody looks terrible."
It depends on what you want to use it for, but like this format for Skype would not work for me in my daily work.
Why?
I need to be able to see more people, and I need to be able to control how we interact, and I need to be able to share screens, and I need to be able to. There's a whole lot of different things. I need to be able to secure it. Yeah, I mean, I could go down the list.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. You can say that, but you know, I just found that it was you know, it was easy enough, I guess. But I mean, I couldn't have people just calling me and picking up their call. You know, so.
Yeah, it has calling too.
No, I know it has calling, but I'm saying, like, you called me, okay? I don't see where that is included in Zoom. I have to invite them.
Yeah. You have to give them a link.
I have to give them a link.
There's a personal ID that you get, so like your personal meeting room.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can call that. They now have they have a lot more functionality on Zoom. It's really changed in the last week.
In the last week?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They've added all these contacts and.
By the way, is Brian still there? You're not there, Brian?
I think he had a reboot.
Oh, okay. All right,
I had to do that too. I lost audio.
Yeah. I don't. Let me see here. Oh, hold on a second. I got to do something so we can get Kevin in there as well. And let me see. I have. Is anybody doubled over? No, everybody's there once. Oh, good. Thank goodness for that. Yeah,
Here's something that I wanted to ask a question.
Mm-hmm.
Have any wealthy people died from COVID-19?
No, they're all on yachts.
Yeah.
I know some celebrities, or tangentially, names, but it's kind of interesting. Boris Johnson is recovered, and Prince Charles is okay.
There was a bunch of celebrities, the biggest ones in the world, but celebrities that you see had passed away from
some singers.
Yeah,
but celebrity might
country
might not
singer.
be
What's his
wealthy or
name?
rich.
I'm trying to remember his name now.
Yeah.
John Prine died, and
Who?
John Prine is a country songwriter.
Yeah.
Is he rich?
Richer than me.
Hey, did you lose out on the Phil? Did you lose out on the thing? Because it's bankrupt.
They ran out of money. I got $8,000 today, a grant from the SBA. They give you $1,000 for each employee, just emergency funds. And then on the PPP, my application is in, but now that they're out of money, they're still working on processing the applications. And as soon as Pelosi frees up the the next 250 billion, I'm sure I'll be funded.
Mm-hmm. Do you know who got that money, however?
Yes, I know people that got it, but their bank.
No, it's not that you should know people who got it. Do you know who got it?
Ruth's Chris got 20 million. Two $10 million things. There was another company. I think a restaurant that got 10 million.
Mm-hmm. Try hedge funds and what was it? What was the other thing? Hedge funds and some kind of money things like that.
Maybe Bernie Madoff got some in prison.
Yeah, but hedge funds got some.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were out ahead of you. How do you feel about that?
I thought it was small business.
It was supposed to be for less than 500 employees.
Oh, so these little hedge funds, even though they're wealthy.
Right. They had less than 500 employees.
Yeah. Supposedly, the reason they ran out of money early was hedge funds and what was the other one?
That's bullshit.
One other kind of investment thing.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, of course it's bullshit. That's why Phil didn't get his $52,000. He should be pissed off about that.
That's probably why the Democrats were holding it up, trying to get rid of that shit.
No, they were trying to get money for the people that were more impacted, illegals and people that.
No, they didn't say illegals. Illegals. Well, if illegals pay taxes, then I suppose they were going to get it. But if they didn't pay taxes, there was no way they were going to get it.
Well, a lot of them pay taxes, but they're using your Social Security.
It wasn't for illegals, Phil. It was that they didn't want. I think it was something like he wanted half a $1 trillion in reserve that the president could spend at his discretion, and that his administration could spend at their discretion. And they didn't want that. They wanted every penny to go to people.
Maybe writing checks to everybody.
We could be getting 2,000. Who wants 2,000? Alex, you were saying you were going to hold out for Andrew Yang's 2,000. Looks like we might get it.
Yeah, well, actually, I'm only going to get about 1,100.
No, that's the first round.
No. This is Marjorie and I are going to get 1,100. We should get 2,000, but unfortunately, for some reason, we're over a certain amount, and we can't.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, and I'm not going to get anything. Brian's not going to get anything.
Yeah.
You know, so and
I already got mine.
I don't get anything either.
I'm going to show you my.
Well, here's the thing I don't get. You know, I mean, who should be getting this money? It's like everybody gets. You get it. You get 1,000, and you get 1,000, and you get 1,000. Yeah, Brian. You know what I'm going to say here? Shouldn't it just go to people whose income has been impacted by this?
It should.
My wife, Marjorie's working at home. She's getting the same paycheck now that she got every day that she worked at this company, and yet she's going to get some money.
They said that the computers were so old that they couldn't do that kind of search to discern who was at what income level. I'm surprised.
Well, but the other thing is, you've got to give it to everybody for the same reason Andrew Yang said.
Yeah.
Because you got to get the rich people and the powerful people to go ahead with it.
Yeah. Brian had his hand.
People are getting a lot of money.
Let Brian talk.
I'm not rich. I'm not getting a penny.
You know, I was just gonna say, you know, people like me, geez, you know, especially our business, you know, I don't care if I don't have the money. I mean, I like the money, but yeah, I definitely think there are other people that really need the money, and somehow they should break that down somehow. I don't know how to do that, but
you can't.
I don't need the money. Marjorie doesn't need the money. I mean, we'll take it if they want to give it to us, but we don't need it. But there are people who a couple of weeks ago had a job and they don't have a job now, and they got the rent coming due. And
good luck filing unemployment.
And quite frankly, giving them $1,200, that isn't enough. No. You know. I mean, I don't foresee a lot of those people in New York going back to work before the end of the year. I really don't.
Why don't they just make everybody file for unemployment, and instead of giving them the measly unemployment that you get, give them their salary and not give money to people who are working?
That's what I said before. Well, hold on a second, Phil. That's what I said.
So, I mean, unemployment is not difficult to administer. It's in place.
Have you been seeing
But
the
it
lines?
can't handle the volume.
That's what
Too many people.
No way.
that's what the PPP is for, and that's what I'm working on with that 52K, because
because you can't work fast enough to become a socialist, Phil.
Well,
She went from 52,000 to $8,000.
yeah. Instead of
Isn't it amazing that a guy like Phil, who thinks socialism is communism, the minute socialism benefits him, he's in line with his hand right out there.
why don't you sit back and listen to what I'm saying? It's a good thing. You see, instead of the states putting people on unemployment and possibly putting people in positions where they're not going to return for their job, as an employer, this PPP will allow me to continue their salaries for 8 weeks from the time I receive it. And as the economy comes back, they haven't lost a beat. They'll get the same paycheck that they got before the shutdown. And it's the federal government that's paying it, not the state. So in essence, what PPP is doing, a paycheck program, is it's replacing unemployment. And it's taking it off the backs of the state. So the federal government's doing a very good thing by creating PPP. If you think that that's socialism, I think that it's a loan, because if I don't pay that money to the people, I'm on the hook for that money, and I have to pay it back.
Phil, it's socialism.
No, it's a loan.
Yeah, but you don't have to pay back.
No, you do if you don't if they don't come back.
If you pay your people with that money, you don't have to pay it back.
Oh,
that's correct.
Okay,
so that's socialism.
that's socialism.
How do you define it?
Either we adopt socialistic practices, and we need like a big, New Deal policy like FDR had, or forget it. This society. I mean, really? Are you reading the news? I mean, it's unbelievable that we're going to be at 50% unemployment next month.
The social
Phil, let him say what he's going to say. Wait for him to finish and then talk. Okay?
We need to think big. We need visionary leadership like FDR. I mean, it's that big. But people are burying their head in the sand. They only see around them, and they think, well, I'm okay, so everything must be okay. But the system is collapsing. It's failing. Yeah. And it's going to be a lot more problematic.
It doesn't have the right person in power right now to handle the situation. He would have been okay if we had just had a normal kind of administration. Nothing terrible happened. No wars broke out. Nothing like this happened. But this is a major thing in which you need somebody who knows how to lead. And this is a man who, quite frankly, that hasn't been his bailiwick, is leading. He's only known how to run a business, and he's even did that very badly, but let's not question that. He never was trained to do the job that needs to be done now.
Well, the Democrats would like to see...
Forget the Democrats versus the Republicans, Phil. There are people dying over at Mount Sinai, a couple of blocks from me. Right now, wait a minute, there's no discrimination between Republican and Democrat, okay? So this isn't a Republican...
I'm about the economy. And on the economy, the reason that they are not approving PPP, this extra $250, is because they want the economy to freeze up. They don't want restaurants.
We want the economy to freeze up so that we lose money.
They don't want restaurants to be open.
Phil, time out. Time out, Phil. Time out. Time out. Kevin, you look frustrated.
We also have AP. You sound like American Patriot. The Democrats want everybody to die. Nobody wants the restaurants to open.
That's
right. The Democrats want everything to fall apart so that they can fix it all, right?
No, they don't want to fix it. They want social.
Oh, no, they want it all to fall apart so
the
Republicans can sit there and say that they did it.
No, it's
is
your
that what happened?
Phil, there is nobody.
They want the whole fucking government to fall apart. They want America to fall apart. It's horse shit. Come on.
They do because they want
bullshit.
Phil, calm down. Time out. Calm down, Phil. Phil, you don't have to comment on everything. You know.
Well, it's the truth.
You know, you don't have to monopolize the conversation.
I think it's just bullshit cop-out.
The point is, Phil, that if you think that a Democrat wants to see anybody die, if you think that a Democrat wants to see businesses, especially small businesses, go away, because we, as Democrats, have always supported small business, then you're nuts. You know,
I don't think
if
the Democrats do. I don't think anybody wants that shit to happen.
Same Democratic Party. It's a bunch of far left.
Shut up, Phil.
Wait. Jeff had something to say. What did you say, Jeff?
I just said, shut up, Phil. This is ridiculous.
From the guy
Charlie's waving his hand. Yes, Charlie.
It's gonna get bad, Phil, when you go to Ruth Chris and you serve chicken.
Mistaking. If I say if you run across the freeway, you'll get hit by a car, that does not mean that I want you to get hit by a car. What I want is for you not to run across the freeway.
Very good.
I don't run across the freeways.
No, very good. I mean, you know, nobody. No, if you think that we want to see look. Nobody, more than myself, when he got elected, wanted to see Trump succeed more than myself, because I wanted him to succeed, because if he succeeds, the country succeeds. Right. He didn't succeed. He has not been able to handle a situation like this because this isn't what he does. This isn't what he knows how to do. You talk about Biden, you can say anything nasty you want to say about Biden, but he led the Ebola task force here in America, and if he were in power right now, at least he'd have some idea of how to handle this. Yes, Brian.
Yeah, so Biden was on. They have the CNN thing, you know, with Anderson Cooper.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Biden was on there. He had this big plan. You could tell he was reading from something. He said he had meetings and he has a bunch of notes, so he's reading off of that. You know, he's trying to save some small businesses if they have people try to split up the work, but then pay them full. You know, so he has sort of some kind of plan. But watching him talk was pretty painful. But the big thing about Biden, I think, is I know he will have the right people around him to help guide him. And when Trump was talking at the beginning, it sounds like he doesn't either have the right people around him or he just wants to wing it like he wants to wing it.
But Biden needs people around him to guide him, to let him know what day it is.
I want a guy.
That's fine. It's better than.
At least he listens to somebody say it's Tuesday, and he'll say, "Okay, it's Tuesday."
Phil, when you want to talk about,
see, Trump will insist it's Tuesday, and he'll insist it for 18 hours, and then he'll back down off.
He'll insist it's Wednesday until it's Friday.
Yeah,
you know,
I'd get nervous if you just wear mine. Then we're in trouble.
You have to admit, Phil, we all sat around here last, February and March and said, okay, well, he's president now. We really want him to succeed, even though he's an asshole. We want him to at least succeed because he's leading the country.
You need to.
We may not like him, but we wanted him to succeed. But he has sure fucked it up.
But you needed to support him, not let him spend his time.
No, it doesn't matter. He's not going to know that we're here.
He hears us.
There's an old saying. There's an old saying from Star Wars: "Is who's the bigger fool? The fool who leads a bunch of people, or the fool who follows him."
Whether we sit here and support him or not, he doesn't know that.
You're right.
It's the fact of what he does. And if he did, sure, we'd sit here and rah, rah, rah. He still wouldn't hear that either.
I've got my support now. Goldwater, he's running.
You betcha.
Just a little late.
Yeah. Is he alive?
Never know.
If he did everything he wanted to do, there'd be 100,000 people already dead.
I don't think so, because he shut the thing down right off the bat.
He did
No, he didn't, Phil.
Yeah,
he did not. No, he did not. Phil, once he said, "Oh, no more Chinese are allowed in the country," 40,000 came into this country. How's that closing it down?
ones that
Alex, to be fair,
he didn't stop. He didn't stop anything. I know that people in my wife's office were going back and forth to China during that time, and we're saying like, "Where's this ban on China?"
did they have green cards that allow them to work in this country?
Hmm?
Did your wife's?
No, they don't have green cards or anything like that.
How can they work in this country if they don't?
Because they're doing business here, and they go on to another country and they do business there. You know, and a couple of them actually live here and have green cards.
Right.
You know.
Those were allowed to travel back and forth.
Yeah.
Well, not.
But they couldn't have the virus, right?
No, they couldn't have the virus. They were
closed down China, but Europe is where the virus came
Yeah,
from.
he's right, Rob. They were coming in from Italy, getting hammered.
That it was his recommendation to close down Europe, and at that point,
no,
Trump
he didn't do that. He didn't do that.
Britain, because of his stupid golf course.
And then
wait a minute, hold on a second. Brian's.
No. What Charlie was just about to say. Why did he keep saying UK was okay? Do you remember that? He said Europe, nobody can fly, but UK is okay to fly.
Yes.
I think because it was an island and it was separate from the continent.
Oh, really? People don't travel to England from the continent?
Europe is separate from our continent, too.
In fact, the two continents are linked physically by a train now.
And a tunnel.
Well, that's the tunnel in the train in the tunnel.
Yeah.
So, I mean, no, he didn't because he has golf courses there and businesses there. What do you mean I'm assuming?
Yeah, he does have golf courses, but he wasn't necessarily. You can't say that the reason he didn't close it down was because of a golf game.
No, he finally closed it down because people.
His businesses, there's no way to assume that he's not thinking that.
Yeah.
Right? It leaves that shadow of a doubt that he's thinking about his businesses.
I mean, the biggest mistake he ever made was to not let us know what he owes and what he doesn't owe, and what he owns and what he doesn't own, because now we assume he owns everything where he takes advantage of a particular place. You know?
Just remember what happens when you assume. You make an ass out of you and me.
Oh, gee, Phil. Wow, where did you come up with that one?
I stole it.
The Odd Couple.
What, Jeff?
I said, where did Phil get his PhD?
Yeah.
Trump University.
Trump University.
It's cute.
All I'm saying is that if you think there was anybody in this country, no matter how much they didn't like Trump winning, who wanted to see him fail, you're nuts, because him failing means that we fail. If we own any stocks, we fail. If we are in bad health and he doesn't help us out, we fail. You know, I mean, that notion that everybody wanted to see him fail. No, it wasn't that everybody wanted to see him fail. They wanted I wanted to see him succeed. I wanted him to surprise the hell out of me.
Why wouldn't people? I mean, it's our lives. We live here. Yeah. That just makes no sense.
You know, I mean, I think, you know, I guess you're the only smart one in the room, because you didn't want him to fail, and we all wanted him to fail.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, you know how stupid you are, Phil, that you think we all wanted him to fail. Is there anybody in this panel that wanted to see Trump fail?
Yeah. Well,
I never wanted to see anybody fail.
Yeah.
Hey,
it's not.
Except
show a hand. How many called him an orange orangutan and so forth?
Well, of course, because he is.
So what?
So is that the way that you support a guy that you don't want to fail?
No, it's called parody, Phil. And by the way, Trump threatened to sue Bill Maher because he intimated that his mother had had sex with an orangutan, and that's how he came to be. And he wanted to sue over that rather than laugh at it.
That is funny. Maybe she did, and he came out.
Maybe she did.
You know, it's kind of morbid.
That's why everybody down south who walks around on their knuckles voted for him.
I'm a local man. You just put those teeth back in.
Can I say bigot?
No, he's just making fun of them.
Nah, he did against orangutans.
Parody.
That's bad for the orangutans, really.
Yeah.
Okay, how many other presidents have been made fun of over the last 50 years?
Oh, come on. Yeah.
Every single one of them, no matter.
They have a yearly dinner where they make fun of the president.
Except this last one.
Except this one, because he won't go to it.
I don't blame him.
Can't take it.
What?
He doesn't like the press.
Yeah, the one before that.
He doesn't
right,
have a sense of
before that,
humor.
Obama was there.
Yeah.
When Obama was doing it, and he was blasting on Trump, and they kept showing him. If you look on YouTube, Trump did not like that.
If I were like McFly in Back to the Future, and I could go Back to the Future,
I'd love to do that.
I would immediately find Barack Obama and whisper in his ear, "You're going to become president someday, and when you are, you're going to be asked to go to a correspondence dinner. And when you do not put Donald Trump down. It's a dangerous thing to do.
Yeah, that might alternate the whole universe.
That would.
Telling you, these governors are.
That could be the winner. Yeah.
What were you saying, Rob? Rob?
These governors
Rob.
today.
Rob. Yes,
The
Rob.
governors today, I know they figured out how to play him, and they suck his dick, and they tell him thank you for everything you've done for the states, and that makes him smile, and that gets him to just allow them to without having to fight with them about coming back and doing what the governors need to do. It's just as simple as just telling him, you know what, thank you, Mr. President, thank you for the support, and thank you for everything you've done. And he sits there, he gets his pat on the back, and everything is good.
That's exactly what Governor Newsom is doing right now.
That's absolutely what they're all doing, except maybe a couple of the red
they're
states.
they're all afraid of the bully.
Right.
Because right
Right
now
now.
they need cooperation from the government to solve this problem in their individual states, and so they don't want to start a bitch fight with him.
This is a bad time.
The
to have those
only
kinds
and
of
you
fights.
can get anything you want out of Trump if you just kiss his ass. You know,
Again,
if you
it's
get
like-
if he comes
like-
to Omaha, make sure that marching band is out there with a
right.
big banner saying "We love Donald Trump,"
It's-
and you'll get anything you want.
That's
It's
what
a corporation. You kiss the boss's ass, you'll get a raise, right?
Yep.
the federal government is supposed to do. They're supposed to support the states. And
That's
that's what
correct.
Trump is doing.
Yeah,
And-
he's done a great job.
And your
Yeah.
buddy,
Betcha.
your buddy
Boss.
Cuomo,
He just supports some states
Let me,
more
my
than
buddy
others.
Cuomo.
every state that had a problem that needed the help of the federal government has been given that help.
So then, how come the governor of Illinois has said, "I've given up listening to what the federal government says they're going to do for me because they do nothing"? How come?
I do know that they gave enough respirators to New York that now they can give them to Delaware and New Jersey, or Louisiana. So, what's happened is Trump and the administration has given everyone
No,
what they
Phil,
need.
I have to correct you. I have to correct you, Phil. Your timeline's a little wrong on that. The reason why we have the respirators to give away is because we had a governor who was so capable of rallying the troops. Now listen to me, Phil. To rally the troops and to get them to stay indoors and to not breathe in each other's faces, and made them realize that they had to do this in order to save their own lives and the lives of their neighbors. And he so brought New York together that we wound up not needing those respirators.
Yeah, because they all died.
Phil,
That had the
Phil,
highest
you're
death
not.
rate.
You've got to always come up with some snappy little snarky answer. And the fact of the matter is, I'm telling you the truth. Every day. Wait a minute. Every day, at about I think it's usually 11:30, he goes on, Cuomo, and he gives us all the statistics for the day, and we're hoping and praying things are going to get better. And today we got a good report. There were about 120 less people dead today than died the day before, and the amount of intubations has gone down, and so on. And then he looks straight at that camera and says, "And that's because of you. That's because you're doing what needs to be done." And he gives us a pep talk every day. Doesn't lift us up and make us believe this is over tomorrow, but he makes us feel that we're all in this fight together, and he rallies the troops, and he does what a leader is supposed to do. And the reason why we don't need those breathing apparatuses is because we all listened to him and because he rallied us together, and we don't need him because we've flattened the curve. Okay?
It's
And so give him a little bit of credit because Cuomo is pretty damn good.
Well, Cuomo was following models that that he said that he was going to have so many deaths and he needed so many respirators. And
no,
Trump said,
Phil, that was those. Now,
government.
Brian, you know a little bit about this. Those were the only models he had, right?
Yeah, I think the big thing about Cuomo, even I'm California and I watch Cuomo when he talks to the state. But when you do a lot of stats and stuff like that, he talks about he's looking at the 3-day average and stuff like that because the day-to-day can go up and down. I mean, all those little things that he talks about, he has people there that are very smart, and he reflects the smartness.
Yeah, he said the other day. He said when I started this whole thing, I didn't know what I didn't know one thing from another. He said, and it's amazing how much I've had to learn in how little amount of time. And when it's something that's a medical question, he doesn't answer it. He turns it over to his medical guy. And if it's an economic question, he turns it over to the economic person. But all I'm saying is, by doing this every day, he has kept us with a single purpose. And when you go out on the streets of New York right now, it's pretty empty out there. And when there are people out there, they've got masks on their face, and most of them have rubber gloves too, because we're all doing our part to lower that curve, to flatten it out and to lower that curve. And Phil, if you don't believe that Cuomo isn't doing what a leader should do, then you don't know what a leader should do. And it explains fully why you're a Trump fan. By the way, Jeff has his hand up.
Yeah.
Okay. As far as the governor of New York, the one thing that he does is he is willing to say, I don't know.
Yeah.
Incredible. I'm willing to listen to what he has to say because he's going to tell you what he knows and he's going to tell you what he doesn't
And
know.
he also tells you, these are the facts, now my opinion.
Yep.
Yeah.
He doesn't meld it all together and say he's seen great things.
Yeah. And by the way, Phil,
nobody's ever done before.
Just for your edification.
Like nobody's ever done it.
Just for your edification. He goes on every day, and they put him on CNN and they put him on MSNBC. I don't know if they put him on Fox.
They do.
Okay.
Wow.
And that compared to the Trump press conferences, because Trump loves to talk about his ratings. The ratings for Cuomo are way out front of anything for Trump.
Trump does a lot of thanking. You know,
himself?
have you ever no, not himself. He thanks the doctors. He's thanked all the people that are working with him, and he then defers to when he's asked questions of the press. Now, the thing about Cuomo is he being asked questions by the press, or is he just a talking head?
No, it's the press.
Well, Trump stays there for a long time.
Yes, 2.5 fucking hours.
Yeah, I've never heard him refer something to one of the other doctors there.
Well, he refers. He refers all the time.
He does. He
argues.
No, he doesn't.
No, he'll say, you want to handle this. He does.
Yeah, he argues with the press. They try to use gotcha questions, but he does defer to the different doctors and the different people in the administration, when those questions come up. And he does a lot of thanking. It sounds to me like a benefit where they're raising money, like for muscular dystrophy or something. Mm-hmm. I want to thank this guy and thank that guy.
Yes, Bree.
It's like a lounge act.
Look at
Papa John's.
If you look at individual actions, it's easy to sort of, say this is good, this is bad, or did this, did that, and that's where you can do that. I mean, because no one is 100% perfect or 100% bad, so it's a matter of degrees for me. If you look overall at the numbers, in my opinion, the United States failed to handle this epidemic appropriately. And, one of our presidents used to have on his desk, it said, the buck stops here.
Truman.
And so, that for me is telling. I don't want to hear the daily things. I don't want to compare to Cuomo. I don't care if he, said thank you to people all I'm looking at is the reality of the numbers. Yeah. And if you look at that and you look at other countries, we're not even close to any objective, view on how this has been handled. We're nowhere in the top leadership on this. So then you have to say, well, what is it? Why are these numbers as they are? And you can look at per capita as well. So you can't just say, well, we have more people. So, but we also are supposed to be a wealthy nation with great health care. And yet, why is it that we are disproportionately affected?
I don't know. You got 53 people watching.
For me, it comes down to leadership.
What, Phil?
53 people watching.
I only see 51.
It just went down. There was 53.
Yeah, so?
Is that the highest?
I don't know. I don't remember. Yes, Charlie.
Well, I tried to signal them to let them know, but...
Thank you.
One of the telling things about Trump is that he has this commission he's setting up to try and decide when's the best time to go back to work and restart the economy. And there's not one medical professional on that commission. Not one. He doesn't care what the doctors think. He has all these businessmen going to decide when to open up the economy.
Yeah, but like
we're all going to die.
There's a pork plant I think they're thinking of reopening tomorrow.
The sky is falling.
Yeah, it kind of is, Phil.
Phil, the last time one of the times you accused me of saying the sky is falling is when I said this pandemic is going to get really dangerous, and I think your exact words were that. So stop with that already.
Okay, Brian, how many more people have died during this pandemic than from some of the other flus, and not the Spanish one?
Oh, a great deal more.
I have no idea.
Okay.
There's been nothing that's had 2,000 people.
You're going to compare. Wait a minute.
I don't care how bad the epidemic was. No disease you've ever had 2,000 people dying every day.
You're going to compare this to the Spanish flu, Phil?
No, I didn't compare it to. I said not the Spanish flu, like MARS and SARS, and
they weren't anywhere near this.
And just the normal influenza.
Wait a minute, Brian. How bad was SARS compared to this?
Yeah, it wasn't. It was bad, but not even close to this bad. But Phil, the big thing with the regular flu is we have that under control. We have so many tests. All these companies have good tests for that, and people have their shots and everything. But I think the biggest scary thing is that we didn't have a test at one time. Now we have tests, but not enough. But then the vaccine's really big.
Yeah. What? Now, Tony had written something to me about this.
They have. It's breaking out right now. They're saying that I can't pronounce it. Remildar. There's a certain drug that they.
Remdesivir, I think, is the name.
Early results. That's why the stock market is going crazy after hours. It's. They're saying in early tests, it's working.
In September, they expect to see the first
Georgia,
dose.
I think it is. Envoy?
I wrote it down. I was reading an article, and if you do a Google search on Yahoo, just a Google search,
I think it's Envoy down in Georgia or something.
They're saying with people with severe cases of the respiratory, where it's in the lungs already, they're seeing results of it in early trials, but they're saying it's working. The market's going crazy after hours right now, pretty much because of this drug. They're thinking it's wishful thinking, but it seems like it might be something. I mean, it's a spark of good news.
Somebody had maybe you're talking about this remdesivir. Remdesivir.
Yeah.
Do you know this drug at all, Brian? No.
What was it used for? It was used for something else.
Ebola, and it didn't work.
Oh, well, I guess they're getting results on this.
They're working on a vaccine at Oxford, and I heard an interview with the guy tonight who said that they're 80% confident that this is going to work, and they expect the first trials to be in September. They've already tested it on animals. It's very closely linked to what they were using with Ebola, and so they're extremely comfortable with it. And they had this doctor on from Oxford talking about it tonight, and They said
Yeah, I was reading
80%
about it
chance.
Yeah. It's all reputable sources. What I was reading from that, the stock on that company is going crazy right now after hours. I heard about it the other day from my mother's doctor. He mentioned it, and then I just Googled it. So let me see it, and a lot of stories came up in afterwards. Like, oh wow, maybe they're getting some good. It's not a vaccine, but if they can treat it, this could be the ace you're looking for.
By the way, Tony, turn your camera on and off, will you?
Okay.
Because
Bree's trying to raise his
Yes, Bree. I see Bree.
The reality is that, you know, if you listen to the professional healthcare folks, they're always saying therapeutics, you know, first, and treatments, and then later vaccines. But in order for those to go, they have to go through trials. You know, I thought when I read that Gilead thing about Remdesivir or whatever, I thought, well, back 2 months ago in Thailand, they were using that. They already said that they were using it and that they saw some benefits. So why all of a sudden Gilead gets a stock increase and they say they've declared it this, I'm not sure why. I think it's just how they release the press releases. But even if we get a vaccine tomorrow, we can't distribute it. It can't be distributed. It would take a year just to distribute if we had it tomorrow, but we're not going to have it tomorrow.
Well, let's face it, though. Let's face it. The only thing that's going to really get us out of all of this is when a vaccine does come and we can put this behind us. Okay. In the meantime, all these cures are about the only thing we can look to, which at least will somewhat mitigate the situation and get us back to some kind of normalcy. I don't think even when we have a vaccine, we're going to go back to normal. I think we suddenly have realized our mortality and what can cause us to get really sick, and we're gonna fight that. What, Phil?
I drove past a theater today, you know, those comfy seats theaters, and they had the gate up across the thing, and I'm saying to myself, am I ever going to go back to a movie theater? And, you know, am I going to go and have, go to the Ruth's Chris and sit at the bar and have happy hour? I don't think so.
He's already back on the stage.
Well, I'll tell you something. I saw an article the other day in a show business site about the movie companies and the fact that they found a different form of distribution for the stuff that they were supposed to unload this time of year, and that is they're putting them on Amazon and selling them to you for $20 a pop to watch the film. And when they first started this, they didn't know what the results would be, but all of a sudden they've seen that on some of their films, they're making more money than they ever would have by giving it to the movie theaters. So, wait a minute, let me finish, Phil. Jeez. Yeah. And so the upshot of all of this is that they are starting to say, look, you know, we've maybe found a new model here. And we know that people aren't going to go back to the movie theaters. And we've got to start distributing these online, you know, and that's probably where the movies are going to be. Yes, Brian?
Couple of months ago, my daughter got hired by Amazon Studios, and it was kind of a stroke of luck because she was working for Variety before that, and then they hired her. She's not on. She works to support the what's the show that Kevin what's his name is on Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. She's doing promotion. But
what does that have to do with what we're talking about?
Amazon Studios is, it's really.
But we're talking. I'm not talking about Amazon Studios. I'm talking about Universal. I'm talking about Warner Brothers. I'm talking about the major motion picture studios that don't include the Netflix and the Hulus and so on. That they're all thinking of making this form of distribution the newest form of distribution. They've been wanting to do it for years, but the movie theaters have balked at it. But now they've got no excuse.
Yeah. You know who makes all the money at the movie theaters?
Popcorn.
Yeah, concession stands.
Yeah.
A friend of mine at work. Her husband worked at one of the concession companies, whatever, in South San Francisco, and they make bank.
I used to work for Screen Vision in New York City, and there you may recognize their names because they were the pre-shows that aired in a lot of movie theaters, all the trivia questions, Screen Vision, this and that, and they I mean, I was in that industry, and they make no money for the first run of a movie. 90% of the money goes to the film companies. They get, pennies until later that the film's been around. So that's why the concessions cost so much.
Well, the thing is that if I remember correctly, with the movie companies, when they give a theater a movie, the first week they take 100% of the take. Second week it goes to something like 90%, and then for every week more that it's there in a theater, the theater starts getting more and more of the money. So where they're going to make their major amount of buck is on the popcorn. And, they're selling you $15 worth of popcorn in a 5-cent box with about 10 cents worth of popcorn. Yes, Kevin.
We have one theater in town, and they open up on the weekends here, and they sell their concessions. No movies. They just open up for concessions.
Really? So you can
People
go
drive by there, and they're buying their popcorn.
That's cool.
$8.25. They say, go ahead and binge. Stop by, buy our popcorn and our, milk duds and our ice.
That's cool. What a cool idea.
$15.
Yeah.
And
buy it and bring it home and
business.
watch the movies in my house.
Yeah, that's what they're doing.
Yeah, that's nice.
And they give you an extra bag because they refill your popcorn if you buy a large one.
That's cool.
Wow. That's one way of somebody being smart and trying to survive this whole pandemic. You know?
And people are actually going over there and buying it.
Yeah. As I say, restaurants, they'll reopen, but they'll have half the capacity because you'll have to be further apart.
Come back.
What?
Maybe drive-ins will come back.
They were mentioning that drive-ins are actually doing pretty well. Some of them are still open. There are only something like about a handful of them in the entire country, but the ones that are there are now open and running the major feature films.
Yeah, there's one by me. It's closed right now.
Really?
I thought they were all flea markets at this point.
No, we still have a great one here.
Yeah. But I mean, the fact is that, that's a way you could go and have social distancing. Of course, it's not much fun when it's raining,
I like drive-ins.
I did too. We go.
Yeah.
Double feature for $9 a person.
Yeah.
I remember when I was in high school, I had a '63 Chevrolet convertible Impala, and it was ripped between the trunk and the thing. So I put like 6 guys in the trunk, and then they crawl through the back.
See how many you can get in.
Well, the thing is that
you're good to go.
There was a period of time there in American history where the American automobile, right after the war, where the American automobile was this thing that you use for everything. You would go to a drive-in and you would eat in the drive-in with a tray hanging out of your window, which I thought was the most. I always felt it was the most uncomfortable way to eat dinner.
How did you eat like that? Remember in Happy Days they showed the food on the side.
Yeah.
White Castles did that. They used to come to your car with the tray and hang it on your window.
Yeah.
White Castle, that's right.
Mm-hmm. No, White Castle wasn't a drive-in.
Sonic still does it.
Drive-ins, no?
No, it was a walk-in. They were very small.
Little hamburgers.
They were very small, but McDonald's always was a drive-in.
White Castle still around?
Yeah, they're still around. They don't have to drive. They don't have the people come out to your cars anymore.
I imagine McDonald's is probably doing good business, and Burger King, where they got drive-in windows right now. I think they're probably doing good.
Do you want to touch the bag or whatever?
Yeah, because I have my rubber gloves.
I love the smell of McDonald's when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm. And by the way,
I love that smell.
I went to Chili's the other day. I ordered some hamburgers, and they put them on a table, so nobody touches anything. They come out with the to-go. They put it on the table. Mm-hmm. You give them the credit card. They put it in a basket. Take it in. They do what they got to do. But the food they bring out, they stick it on the table, and then you take it off the table, and it's in a bag.
Yeah, but I mean,
do you guys have Sonics on the East Coast?
Yes,
we have it in Long Island.
Yeah, I think we have them.
They still deliver out to your car on the tray.
Yeah, they do in Texas too.
With the skates,
yeah.
And the what's that burger place that's real popular in California? In-Out. Now have a drive-through, and so they have people standing in line that will walk up to your car. They take your order.
Yeah,
and
that's when it
you
gets
get
busy.
to the window. They take the money, and then they give you the food.
Yeah, but that's not a bad way for. If I had a movie theater, that's a great idea. Just say we're selling pop. We have the concessions are open. Come on in, get your popcorn,
That's a
get
lot
your
of
milk
square
duds.
footage that's empty, though.
Yeah. Oh, no question. But it's something.
Yeah, I just think we're going to see the end of the movie theater after this is over with. I just don't see anybody going to one and sitting next to somebody. Either that, or they're going to have to cut the amount of seats in a theater in half by spacing them further apart, and then they're not going to make as much money.
No, when you're in business, you either, let's say you can fit 100 people in a room and you charge them $10. Mm-hmm. But if you can only fit 50 people in the room, you charge them $20, and it's the same thing.
Well, you're already charging them $20, so you're going to charge them $40?
You might have to.
People are going to stay home and watch them for $20.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because they had an interview with a guy here in a theater in San Jose, and he was looking at his theater at the what was it, Balboa? I don't remember the name of it, but they were looking at a theater, and he's going, I don't know how I'm going to do this, because you have to do 6 feet apart horizontally, but then you also have to go back to front.
All around.
6 feet that way. So
Kathy Gore.
You got to cut off a whole nother row.
Wait a minute. How do you sit next to your girlfriend and hold hands in the theater?
Exactly.
Kathy Gore, who wrote a note on our chat room, says the big box stores and enclosed retail malls replaced the drive-ins. Now the online shopping and the coronavirus are going to kill the malls.
Oh,
yeah.
And if you think about it, the malls are something else that's going to go too, because again, you're going to be enclosed in a room with a bunch of other people.
Malls went away when air conditioning got popular in people's homes. What happened was, the enclosed mall was popular because of air conditioning.
I'm sorry, air conditioning's been around a lot longer than that, Phil.
I understand, but that's when the enclosed mall started to become really popular.
Oh yeah, no, but you're talking about the mall where it was just. I don't even know. They call them malls. They call them
there's strip malls, which are outside.
Yeah.
And there's enclosed malls. Yeah. But all of the anchor stores have gone bankrupt. You got Sears, you got Macy's, you got
Penny
anchors.
Well, you want to know where Sears and Roebuck really screwed up?
Catalog and internet.
They had a catalog. Everybody got the Sears catalog. They've all ordered out of the Sears catalog. That is only one step removed from what Amazon became. And they never thought they never thought early on to convert their catalog into an online business.
Sears had the first porn. I used to look at Sears at the
underwear models
section in the catalog.
Well, those were
they got bras in there.
Those were the Macy's ads on Sunday in New York with the women in the bras and everything.
Yeah, but when you're 10 years, 8 years old, 6 years old, you see Sears catalog.
When I was like 12, I was like erasing the bras off of them, with an eraser.
Yeah, see if you can see underneath.
Yeah, right.
But the pages were too thin.
But I'm not. I don't know how long I'm going to be around for, but I will tell you now that I'll probably be around long enough to see the entire society change. I mean, it already has worldwide. Yes, Brian, we'll give you the last word. Huh?
Yeah. What about some of these big groups? I mean, I don't know who you guys listen to, but like Beyonce or whoever those people are. Those people are going on a world tour. They sell out stadiums, arenas, and they're making millions and millions of dollars off of that.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
For now.
Yeah, people mash themselves up against.
You see theater in Berkeley, David's place. I've been donating money because those people aren't going to be coming back to work for a long time. They put on shows, and it's like a mosh pit there, and that's not going to happen anymore. So I've been donating just to keep his people.
Yeah, well, they'll just start charging $100 for you to watch Beyonce on pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, everybody. That's it. I hear the theme. It's going on there in the background. Brian, boy, do we like having you here. We always go to you for the straight scoop. I know you don't, but you're terrific, Brian. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Charlie, you're always
doesn't have an agenda.
Yeah, Charlie, Yeah, like you don't. Charlie, thank you so much. Phil, thank you so much. Rob, as always, I bid a fondue. Jeff, always good to have you there. Tony, swell fella. I like my Santa Claus, Kevin, and of course Bree in Malaysia, where everybody is dying fast, just like we are here in America's most infected city. Anyway, hey, everybody, give a big wave goodbye, okay? And I'll wave goodbye at you, and then I will push a button which will show only me. Okay, there we go. There we go. There's our citizen panel for tonight. They're all out of here, and hopefully they'll go running over to where the Deer and the Antelope play over there at Jack Bishop's program in the Intersection, which is next over most of this same GabNet. We'll see you again tomorrow night for our Friday version of the program, same time, same station in life, 10:30. And in the meantime, if you see her, tell her I love her, okay? Bye-bye, everybody. Have a nice night.